taking care of the kids. And the reason why I say that, because men do it all the time, and women be cool when it's a man doing it. I don't understand where it's like, if you're going to sit here and say, hey, I'm gonna be this boss mega star, why can't you date somebody who can just stay at home? Because DJ Envy and Charlamagne, wives don't work in a job. And them niggas will, and they say it proudly, like, my wife don't gotta work, she run the house, she pay the bills, she do everything. And they say that shit with their chest, like that is a bar for success as a man. But when you hear women talk about it, it's like, Jess Hilarious husband, boyfriend, whoever he is, he still got to work. And when he's just like, he kind of like, I'm not mad at her for dating a regular dude, but it's kind of just like, you made it took off too long, dog. And so, like I said, I don't feel like shouldn't have to play the clips. I feel like if you actually just into pop culture, or you should know by now, or at least heard Jess Hilarious rant, she had on her Instagram live, and she basically was upset. She was upset with the Breakfast Club. She was upset with Lauren LaRosa. And what really kicked it off, and that's even for me, it was kind of like, I told y'all this already. And you kind of, even when you look at the comment section, you see people where it's like, I can tell people who actually listen to the Breakfast Club, and then people who just may watch Breakfast Club clips, or you may just, you don't even, if you watch videos on the YouTube. And I understand, I think people, even when you take in content, I think people are different. Where I'm somebody where I don't care about taking in content to laugh. Like, I'm not really, I even get mad sometimes when I listen to, not the Breakfast Club, but like if the Brilliant Idiots and like Andrew Schultz trying to make too many jokes. I'm like, no, bro, I want to hear your actual opinion. Don't joke your way through these opinions. And I think Jess Hilarious, I said this a million times on here, Lauren just does a better job at that. If I'm listening to the Breakfast Club, and I was actually a Breakfast Club fan for the last 15, they're going on 15 years now. So let's say the last 13 years before these last 2 New Years, I heard Angela Yee give the news. I heard her give, like, she giving me in-depth, and for most, let's be clear, for most podcasters, because you may not have time to take in all the news, or you don't feel like reading through the shade room, 9 times out of 10, you probably listen to the Breakfast Club to get a better detail on what the actual topic was, what I may have missed, because you know that Angela Yee gonna give you real details. Jess Hilarious could not do what Angela Yee did. So if I'm listening to the Breakfast Club,
more Yee than Jess is
100, it ain't even close.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't even close. It's just like, it's not like, it can't be, it's almost like going from you can't go from like an elite pocket quarterback to man, that's almost like going from Tom Brady to trying to go to Jameis Winston. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, yeah, if you're here for a good time and a joke, yeah, I'm cool with Jess Hilarious. And Jess Hilarious is Jameis Winston, and fucking Lauren is, I ain't gonna lie to you, would be like, when we talking about swap out for Yee for what you looking for, that would be like the Yee and Lauren thing would be like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, but it's the same style of quarterback. It's just like, all right, whichever one you feel like is better, you can just argue about that. But that just from Yee or just to Lauren, it was like Jameis Winston to Tom Brady, though. Like getting rid of Tom Brady and then bringing in Jameis Winston. And it's like, you can't, and realistically, that's why I can tell, like, let's be clear, Jess Hilarious has a huge fan base already via social media. And I think because, of course, this is America, people so strong on celebrity or followers, because that doesn't make her good at this job, because she got a bunch of followers. That does not mean that she was going to be good at doing what segments. Like I said this before, she would be perfect for, but I don't even necessarily know
social media.
She for what she do clips wise. Yeah, everybody can do clips because you can cut it up and chop it up however you want. Mm-hmm. But when I'm talking about, even if you just talking about just platform wise, she would have been perfect if she would have took Melissa Ford's spot on Joe Budden podcast. She could do, but she don't have to read off no topic. She could just punch in and give her opinion. She ain't got to take Melissa Ford. She could do what Queen's Flip do. But that's my point, where it's not. But for that role on the Breakfast Club, bro, you have to know how to read. The sad thing is,
because you got Envy and
yeah, I don't need that. And that's why when I see people in the comment section sitting here saying, "Oh, she brings a comedic relief," nigga, what is fucking Charlamagne then? Like, what happened? Like, since when did we not come for the laughs and giggles from Charlamagne? When he don't need somebody else to bring no laughs and giggles. No, I need somebody to come in and actually make this show still sound like a news show. You got to remember, the Breakfast Club be getting picked. Like, their clips don't get just picked up on the Shade Room, especially during this when it's like politics season. Bro, their clips be getting picked up on CNN, Fox News. You can't have somebody picking up. You can't imagine Fox News trying to pick up a Jess Hilarious topic point on politics. Are you serious? But that's when I know for a fact that people don't really listen to the show. So if you giving your opinion and feeling like, oh, Lauren, just actually listen to the show and remember the structure of the show, bro. They was during the election, like they did a live stream from Howard Homecoming. Bro, Jess Hilarious don't know nothing about she don't know nothing about politics. She don't even know how to kind of just like, because Envy don't know a lot, but Envy know how to Ask the right questions. Envy know how to sit here and say, like, he gonna admit, like, I don't know, but I know how to learn and how to ask the right questions so I can learn and it won't mess up the flow of the conversation because I'm gonna still ask as somebody who's an adult. And I think sometimes, a lot of times, people try to just after a certain age, bro, you still have to show up as an adult. I don't care if you don't know politics, like if you don't know everybody on the ballot, but you have to have some form of opinion as an adult. And for Jess, it was kind of just like, I don't know and I don't care. So I'm not even trying to learn. And it's just like, bro, they even got a second. They have to have another person come and read the actual news. Like Angela, you used to do all of that. So just imagine if I'm iHeart, why do I want to pay someone? Now I'm basically paying two people to do one person job. So that's just my whole thing for people who's like, oh, well, dog, you don't listen to the Breakfast Club because now they got somebody who reads the front page news and okay, they're cool. Even if Jess was still doing Jess with the mess, all of that was still Angela Yee segments. It was front page news and then it used to be rumor reports. So even still, the fact that they got to have somebody else do front page news let you know how bad, like, come on, though. What are we talking about? And for people, and let's be clear, and I think, and we talking about insecurities, even with Jess, it just screamed her insecurities. Corey Holcomb just brought it to because let's be clear, academics said it even 100 times worse than what Corey Holcomb said. But because, I mean, sometimes the shade room and stuff, they may have just didn't want to pick up the academics thing. Because academics said literally the same exact thing, but 100 times worse. He called her a DEI hire. So that's my point. Like what Corey Holcomb said, he just and the reason why it hurt because it was just honest. Like I'm sure that because guess what Jess probably do? She might not even pay attention because, of course, like, yeah, it's easy to say don't read the comments. Don't read the comments on the shade room. But we talking about people who are reading the comments on YouTube interviews, and you talking about when y'all having real conversations again when those politicians come in and Lauren in there and she's asking the right questions because she's knowledgeable of what's going on. She's talking like an adult, even if she's not as great with politics as an Angela Rye or even a Tesla Figueroa. She still knows, she's still knowledgeable, she still understands politics to sit here and ask the right questions or to be able to give pushbacks on certain topics with just to just be like dead air, even when it be just certain entertainers in there. Like, bro, Lauren, just do a better job. There's no way in hell you can sit here and tell me you actually listen to the Breakfast Club and you listen to those two people, even if you listen to them interview people. You can't sit here and say you feel like those two people do the same job well. They don't. And that's why it triggered her so much when Corey Holcomb said it. Yeah, they've been already had their beef. And that's like Envy said, like, bro, y'all two already been beefing for 11 years. Before you came to the show, you and him already had smoke. But you allow him to make you want to crash out. But the only reason why I made you crash out because you see the fans and ain't nobody trying to villainize you and sit here when you told people said something about that. That was months ago when you had that little situation, you told her to hush and you told her to shut up. Cool, that happened months ago. But the reason why it happened is because you know for a fact that she's doing this job 100 times better. It ain't because guess what? If she sucked at that job, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't feel no type of pressure. You wouldn't even care. You would allow her to wash herself out. Like, let's be like that. Just to me, even with that whole Jess thing, like I said, I know people who actually listen to the Breakfast Club or everybody and their mother feel like Lauren do that job better all around the board. I don't, like I said, I don't for laughter. I got Charlamagne and Envy here. It was cool. Like if Jess was replacing one of them, then I get it. But we talking about replacing Angela Yee, bro. I don't need somebody else to make it laugh. And I hate when I see people like you, either you're close to your 40s and you sitting here trying to be like, bro, nobody don't like this. Come on, though. It's time to be an adult. I think that's sometimes with a lot of people, like it's too much. You trying to laugh too much and you trying to run away from the reality of just being an adult way too much. Like, come on, though. Like sometimes it's time to grow up. I'm not trying to listen to the Breakfast Club and sit here and listen to somebody on their Stellar and Stanley. And I said this before on here before this even became a big story. So that's why I kind of was just like, all right, bro, this to me ain't nothing new. Like her crashing out was just like, bro, you just bad at that job. And I think realistically for Jess, I think she thought that job was going to be way easier than what it actually was. I think that she thought she was going to be able to just kind of walk through and people were just going to keep just sucking her off because, oh, she Jess Hilarious. No, after a while, people going to kind of, because especially for the regular Breakfast Club fan who've been listening to the Breakfast Club before that, and I get it, let's be clear. I'm not sitting here saying that Jess didn't bring some of her own listeners, and I be thinking they even be cherry picking the call sometimes because I look at the comment section. On YouTube channels, bro, 90% of the people on the YouTube channels be saying Lauren was better than Jess. And that's one of the reasons why I think that the Breakfast Club even felt so comfortable with sitting here taking it away from Jess with the mess to making it, I forgot what they call it. Lauren, what is it? Lauren with the latest. Like because you see it in the comment section. Don't tell me Merlin lost.
They won.
Oh, they won?
He ended up became winner.
Damn. One thing I can say, just real quick, we can get back to this. One thing I can say, I think Maryland realized that they messed up is they done fumbled the ball heavy on promoting their people, and I like the way that they kind of picked it up with this one. Like with these group of people, this group of players right here, they kind of really picked it up because they fumbled the rock. I felt like they like at one point in time, Maryland used to promote like when we talk about Steve Francis and what's the other the dude who got his wife on the reality show now, Juan Dixon. Yeah, they did a great job of that. They promote those teams. They promoted them heavy, like for some reason, and I don't know what happened at Maryland where it was just like it was like a drop off. Even when you just go into women's basketball, like all of them, like bro, for the fact that you had Alyssa Thomas played it, and we live here and didn't know that. And even you can kind of tie that in because I meant to say something like, of course, during like the middle of the season when they had their no, as popular as Juju was, like, I mean, let's be clear, the game will sell out regardless because, of course, it's Juju. But I think really they just did a bad job where if you didn't live on campus, you wouldn't know that game was going on. But I do, like I said, a lot of times when I like even just cut on the radio or even they didn't have billboards up in the area with all of them on the jump. So I do think they have done a better job with trying to pick it up because there's no way, like, come on, though. There ain't no way in the world they missed out way too much. For even for Lexi Brown that went to Maryland, I seen her on Twitter one day and she was crashing out like, Maryland, nobody don't even know I went to Maryland. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I live here and I didn't know she went there. But
I don't think that's something that you probably followed there.
What you mean? At that time?
No, I mean just period. Because like I said, the girls always been doing their thing. They've been a winning team. So that's what I'm saying. Because even like when Angel Reese was there, it wasn't a big thing because they were still winning games. That's what I'm saying. I don't think everybody really paid. You know what I'm saying? Like if you watch college sports, then you know what I'm saying?
I know, but I don't. But I think you're missing my point. I don't think you should have to. It's something. I think that's where most teams. I think that's where most sports go wrong with. I shouldn't have to watch the sport to know something big is in my area. Like it shouldn't. I shouldn't have to be a diehard. And because realistically, to pay some, even when you're talking about when we say videos go viral, if you're just talking about just off of social media, it's not your average everyday listener. It's the casual people that are like, oh, I never even got familiar with this person. And then that's why the numbers jump up at an extreme level because the casual person who's not your everyday listener, they got a whiff of this. So I think even realistically, I shouldn't have to be a diehard. I don't watch Maryland football, but I know that Valu, his brother went there. I never watched a Maryland college football game a day in my life, but I know his brother went to that school. So that's just my point where it's just like certain things where I shouldn't have to be a diehard fan to know, even if let's just say I watch wrestling games, we'll say if I didn't, just maybe because it might be different with professional because I feel like just in this area it's going to be completely different. But I just do feel like Maryland has just done a bad job. Like just for you to sit here and say,
but that's why I feel like they're not a team that like because of course because they're not in the ACC no more. It's like they're not. Like if they probably still in the ACC, probably see more promotion, but now because they're in the big league, it ain't the same. Like you the bottom of the bottom right now. You're not a top team. You know what I'm saying? In your division, in the Big West, you're not a big team in that conference. So
what you mean for like football wise?
Football and basketball.
Shit, the basketball ain't won every year.
Just now.
No, nigga, every year. Hey, listen to us, and
not
that's why
the men.
Listen to them. When Angel Reese was there, they won the championship.
I'm talking about the women always been good. Because that's when the lady coach was complaining about her not getting the same pay as the head coach for the men. I'm talking about the men wise. Like I said, the way they've been playing, they haven't been.
For the men, but not even just still, but that for that conference for the men is just trash regardless. Even just that conference as a whole ain't a like. What's the other school like? What's the school that's gonna grab people's attention outside of like Maryland? So I get what you're saying for the men's side. It's kind of just like. Yeah, whatever the case may be. I mean, I get it. Well, we took a hard turn. I just because it was on the TV. But again, like I said, just with the Jess Hilarious thing, I just don't think. I just think she sucked at that job though. Like I don't have a real deep dive because I really listen to the Breakfast Club. Like I feel like for people trying to make it seem like more than what it needs to be, or it's like some long draw, like you just don't listen to the Breakfast Club.
I think my only argument for why can't it be 4? When she said like I got pitched the gig is going to be 3, but if your pay don't change. And it's better for the, why can't it be 4 then?
Maybe because she feel like they're not. I can't even say maybe because they're not making it a 4-person. The way the segments is done, it's not a 4-person thing. Because it's not a podcast, it's broke down in segments. So let's say the show starts off front page news. So like when they literally come in, it's like whatever the little 2 minutes or just letting everybody know in the room, hey, how was your weekend? Boom, boom, boom. The very next segment, which again is the difference between because if this was Angela Yee, you would never notice. But because this is somebody who else do this segment, ain't even in the room. So it's like front page news is somebody who's not even in the room with them. It's somebody completely different. They read the front page news, and 9 times out of 10, it's something that got something to do with adults. So guess what? Just don't talk on there. 9 times out of 10 is normally Charlemagne and Envy who give, you know, whatever pushbacks, because they not in that front page news segment, they normally talk about politics, or they talk about whatever's going on in the news. And which most of the time is politics. So those two are more, so like I said, it's normally that person who's talking, and it's Morgan Wood, she from the DMV. So shout outs to her. It's her talking, and then it be Envy and Charlemagne kind of giving pushback, but that goes again because that's Jess' fault. She don't have no push, and she don't have no conversation. So you talking about for a whole complete segment now, she don't give her opinion. So then they go into get it off with your chest. So then that's the fans or whatever people call it who listening to the junk saying whatever the case may be. So then she may be able to, you know, chime in if somebody talking to her or they want to say something to her in that segment. Then the next junk come in, and then it's at that time it was just with the mess, but now she done kind of ushered it into Lauren, because a lot of the stuff now in the news, especially even in hip hop news, it got a lot of stuff to do with lawyers. So that's where Lauren kind of really got to shine at, because it was like, when Jess had her kid or went on maternity leave, that's like when all the Diddy stuff got popping. So it was like Lauren really be into like the law stuff. So she reading, breaking down what's this lawsuit mean and this, that, and the third. She really kind of got to shine and made people kind of be like, oh yeah, this is kind of why we was used to listen to the Breakfast Club, because it's giving you that insider, like, damn, I didn't know that this would this actual, you know what I'm saying? Because most people, let's be real, most people, even if you follow the Shade Room or any of those blog pages, you're just looking at the headline. You're not really going into the details of what's going on behind the headline. So Lauren gives the details into that. So realistically for Jess, it's kind of like you could get damn near halfway in the show and she may only say like 10 words. Yeah, of course, if you're looking at it like, hey, my pay don't change, but I'm sure that still kind of hit somebody's ego, because you live in a world where it's like Lauren only got maybe like 100-some thousand followers, Jess got 5 million. So to kind of read, this person is not a celebrity. Everybody in the comments on the Breakfast Club YouTube channel, screw the Breakfast Club page on social media, because that's people who may not listen to the show. We talking about actually go on the YouTube channel. Go look at the comment section on the YouTube channel. Like if it's a joke and Lauren missed, you see endless people in the joke like, damn, where Lauren at?
But see, I think that's my thing. I mean, I look at it, and you can look at it just like even with sports. You get hurt, somebody step up, the next man up. So I feel like you think you more entitled to that spot, but if you put in the effort and the work, I wouldn't even have to bring her in there.
No, of course, but again, that's because people don't never want to have a real conversation with the women thing, because it's like she had a kid at the wrong time, dog, and most people don't want to say it because you don't want to sound like a dickhead, and most women don't have no balls and don't want to say it. So it's only men who kind of be like, I want to say it, but I don't want to be the dickhead man who say it. But it's just the truth, dog. You got to plan that shit out. You can't just be like, I'm about to get a brand new job and I'm gonna have a kid.
Well, did she have the kid too early, or did she not?
She didn't have a job.
Did she not do her homework on what that job entailed?
Because I feel like
she was doing all that from the jump before you got pregnant, while you were pregnant, before you went on maternity leave, and you was doing everything and you was doing a good job at it, then you probably wouldn't feel it. You probably feel some type of way, but you kind of know, all right, I do a better job. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think both things are correct. I think one, she didn't do a good job. She wasn't doing a great enough job to the point where you could sit here and then go have a kid and allow somebody to come in and do a better job.
But but Shorty was like the second like she was a finalist into that pick. Right?
So like the people, so when they were doing the rotating chairs, the people who came up there the most was Lauren LaRosa. Because to be honest, Lauren LaRosa came up there more than Jess did. Like Lauren, out of when they were trying to pick who was going to be the third chair, Lauren out of everybody did the most of the fill-ins before it became. It was just permanently Jess. Before they made the announcement that it was Jess jump, Lauren was literally like the only person that was constantly in there doing the jump. So it was like, yeah. So she was realistically one of the finalists for it. It was her, and the other person that people kind of really stood out to most people was what's my girl name? The light skinned older lady. What is her name? It's blowing me because on top of my what's her name? Jordan, is it? It ain't Jordan. It's
Claudia Jordan.
Claudia, there you go, Claudia Jordan. So she was. So it was realistically for most people, if you actually listen to the Breakfast Club and who had chemistry in the room off the rip, and it was like effortless, and like Claudia Jordan was kind of like, to me, she was like the hybrid of both of them. Like she can read real well, and she had the super comic like with her punchlines and all, and that kind. I mean, people most. I'm sure if y'all follow Claudia Jordan, I mean, that's why she got her own show. What was it on Fox Soul before it recently just got canceled, because she can carry one of those shows on her own. And that my people, and I hate when I see so many people say, well, why Lauren can't go get her own? Why Jess can't start a podcast? Jess got a podcast and nobody listens to that shit. That's my point.
But if I'm looking at it, and like you said, it was 3 of them. I know, like I said, I know it was pretty tight. I feel like Jess probably got that edge over them too because
she got more followers. That's it.
Because of the followers, and you trying to catch, I guess, bring a new audience to the whole thing. So let's be honest, like that job probably wasn't yours for real, for real. We just felt like, all right, you might bring more eyes because we given up Angela Yee. We don't want to bring nobody else that's not named. Like you had a name bigger than theirs, sure, and that's why we kind of gave you that. Of
course, that's why they gave you. Of course, but that's my hope. But my even thing with that is just like. Even when we talked about B. Simone last week, like if you asking me out of like all of all the comedians, the social media comedians, to me, the best podcaster out of all of them is B. Simone. Like I won't take that from her. Like if she might, like to me, of course, sometimes the episodes go too deep and she always find a way to start crying. That would be my only bad takeaway. But that's cool because sometimes those conversations do get that deep. I just feel like she oversell it with I'd be like, damn, bro, you like every episode you cry. But if I'm just talking about off of quality of listen and actual like the details of the conversation out of all of them, I'm talking about DC Young Fly, Pretty V, you can line every last one of them, Funny Marco, and let's be clear, I know all of them have a different, like if you are one of those people and you just watching stuff because you want to laugh, then of course you're gonna like the Funny Marcos and you'll like the 85 South Show. But I'm talking about you're actually a podcast listener and you listening for information to get informed on something, or you want to actually hear people's opinions on stuff. B. Simone is better than all of them. So, but just even for Jess, it's kind of just like, I was like, maybe her and Charlamagne just got a real friendship, but I kind of didn't understand why he was forcing that so much because I have never seen somebody be like, oh, I listened to Jess Hilarious Carefully Reckless. Like, I know, like, listen to what I'm saying. I was wondering because, again, I'm not somebody who liked to kiki, but shit, during the shutdown, knew a Rocker Bros who was really watching the 85 South Show. So I know people who actually, and of course, they go do live shows and you can see the people in the joint. So people actually like that show. So it's like, it's undeniable, but you can't sit here and say, like, even you can kind of even debate shit. Look at fucking Mona, Don't Call Me White Girl. Like, I think people get confused where it's like, yeah, Jess is popular for her clips that she do on social media, but even look for Don't Call Me White Girl. Like, most people got hip to her because of podcasting with Gilly and Wallow. Like, that's a difference where it's not like I got popular for being a podcaster, not for getting clips and then me starting a podcast. It's a difference. And I think if you be honest and you actually listen, you can tell the difference. Like, I can tell the difference with some people who got good clips. And then if you really get into the detail with their junk, like sometimes I be even when we do this show, like the weeks when I know, like, it's too, the conversation as a whole was too good to just clip up. Like, we were having real adult conversations. You're not going to have a bunch of stuff to clip up for social media because those conversations be too in detail where they got to be took in context where you can't just clip it up. But for most people who got, I swear to God, any podcast that you watch and they just got a bunch of clips and the majority of the time you know them from clips, I will go out, I swear to fucking God, that podcast 90% of the time, if you try to actually listen from start to finish, is pure dog shit. I don't care. Pick whichever one you want. I'm telling you, real good podcasts don't have a bunch of clips, dog. Most of the time because they cuss too much or their opinions be too strong. Like a podcast that built off of straight clips, I promise you, the full product is doo-doo. That would just be like you sitting here getting to have sex with a girl who got some fire news and then you finally get the box and it's pure dog shit. I'm telling you. So anything that you see that's built up and then be like, oh, it do a bunch. Listen to the full jump from beginning to end. I don't care if it's an hour and 30 minutes or if it's a 3-hour jump. If it got a bunch of clips, I promise you it's pure trash. Unless it's broke down into questions like what Club Shay Shay do, where it's like question, chop it, question, chop it. That's a difference. But we talking about just actual flow and it's a bunch of people in the room and they having a conversation and it'd be doo-doo, dog. And that just be my point where you kind of just, and you can, but again, that's the difference between people who just be on social media and people who actually taking
what about like Tonight Conversation type of situation, like where they mostly, I guess because I never listen to, like, I only see their stuff that's on social media. I never listen to it, but like something like that where they. I
think it just depends on. I don't think a man could listen to one of those shows completely through. I think a woman probably could. Like, if you really like, and I think even for people, I think it's a time frame on where you at in life. Like when you looking for, like, because let's be clear, if you're dealing with let's say if you're dealing with a heartbreak. I remember after a bad breakup, and this is like when I moved out my Jonas Sula, moved in with the girl, then it didn't work out. I was in a space where it was like, and because in that space, I felt like I wasn't mentally ready to be in, and when I say not in I was mentally ready to be in a relationship, but I felt like I wasn't mentally smart enough to be in the rooms that this person was in. I went down a rabbit hole and I was listening to the what's my man name with the dreads, and he got this dread saved off on the side. He was like before the top tonight. What is this? I think Stefan Speaks or something like that. He had like and this, but listen, that's why I don't judge people who go into those rabbit holes, because I've been that person on the opposite side of the computer who went down that rabbit hole where it's like you trying to figure out how to be a better person so you can, like, the next relationship you get in, you want to present completely different. Like you want to just be way sharper, and you feel like listening to these people because the titles are like, hey, how to be a better man and this, that, and the third. I remember even at one time it was a joke that was called and that's how I know I was in like a way weak space mentally, because after I got out of that space, I'm like, bro, why am I listening? This shit is corny as hell. It was called The Roommates. I'm sure for people, if you really was into like podcasts and like maybe like early like 2000 and was like 19 or 2018, they had a popular podcast at that time, but it was really like relationship, and they were some nice guys, and they were kind of just coming off. Like when you get into those spaces, I understand how some of those shows last, because it's almost just like a pastor. It's like, instead, I don't have the Bible here for you, but you looking for that healing process. You feel like, hey, I'm gonna go on YouTube and I'm gonna try to find this healing process on YouTube. And 9 times out of 10, it just don't be there. So, like I said, with the Jess Hilarious thing, it's just, bro, to me, she cheeks. I don't care what y'all talking about. She got a bunch of followers, cool. And to me, even for Jess, I would sit here and say, bro, instead of you sitting here even chasing the Breakfast Club, bro, you should have worked on, you're a comedian, you don't have no type of special. Like that to me is kind of crazy, where it's like your group of people is like, we can say whatever you want about B. Simone, but B. Simone got clips of her actually doing stand-up comedy on social media. I have never, and listen, I know people who personally have went to go see Jess Hilarious, but where's the Jess Hilarious clips of her on actual stage doing comedy?
I've never seen. I know she be promoting them, but I've never.
But that's my point. And people give her, I don't know what it is about her, and that's why when academics said and it was kind of truth to that even, and that's when Lauren was like, bro, I took up for you on Twitter when academics was going crazy on you. And because what he said was kind of true, like she caters to that yes queen shade room comment section. But if you sit here saying, like, if I'm sitting here, you take the gender out, I could easily say, bro, she don't work as hard as, like, I seen clips of Desi Banks actually in comic shows. Like he still got all the skits. Just how Jess got her skits, so she do whatever, but he actually still got clips of him. Like anytime I see him come down on TikTok, most of the time it be him at a comic club doing comedy. I don't see none of these stuff, even for her and Country Wayne to be in a relationship. Bro, Country Wayne got a special on what's his on Amazon Prime, or it was on Netflix. I can't. It was on one of them. But my whole point of it is, these other people who are in your group, they still have done other things, and I feel like for Jess, it's kind of just like, I don't want to say, because I don't know her. I don't want to say she's just looking for people to give her stuff, but it's like, bro, you could still work harder at your craft than you even just in here worrying about the Breakfast Club. You should just kind of look at that as a paycheck and a way to just promote your stuff, instead of you really getting the feelings and kind of making it seem like, I ain't like the way she did Lauren, bro. That to me was just crazy. Like, even kind of really just kind of throwing her under the bus, like that was trash. Like, dog, that was just, to me, just personally, like, I don't even know how she even still be able to come
back to work.
Yeah.
Well, why did they let it air?
What you mean she did it on her own Instagram Live?
But it was a clip of them on the show.
Oh no, yeah, so they talked about it on the show. I mean, but they kind of had to. After she went on her Instagram Live, you kind of ain't got no choice, because she done already done it on Instagram Live, and every blog page and picked it up.
But even still, even if she was totally correct, the way you handled it on air will make them not want to deal with you no more, because that was very unprofessional.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure that Charlamagne he probably got endless calls from the people at iHeart, and they probably was ready to be like, bro, we can clip her right now. But I'm sure he went to bat for her like, nah. I know he had to, because there's no other way you could tell me how like that. Like, come on, dog.
It's like she got too comfortable.
But then my question, only because we in this day and age where the engagement or the controversy brings more views. So would I really be? Would I even entertain it? Or I'm like, well, let's keep this going.
No, listen to what I'm saying. I get. Yeah, if we going off of Jess views and clicks. Of course, it made great for radio. Because even though I listened to the joke the next day, and people was calling, like people who normally call to the show every day, like they are listeners who call, like they almost like are part of the show. Like you know that these listeners gonna call every day. Like they just like if you listen to sports radio, you know it'd be certain jokes that the radio hosts know some of these callers by name or even their voice because they call so much. So they got their regular callers, and like some of their regular callers couldn't even get through because the lines were so busy because people were, wanted to call and wanted to get into the mess. But yeah, all of that's cool. But I know DJ Envy, nigga, the way he was hurt. Like he really felt something. And listen to him tell you, he is one petty nigga. If you listen to the Breakfast Club long enough, you know for a fact DJ Envy hold that bitterness for a long time, bro. It take him a long time to get like he didn't have this little drama with him and DJ drama when it was him and Deezus and Mero. It's a lot of people where it'd be like, nah, he kind of feels some type of like he hold that grudge. And think about it, even for shit. Why Angela Yee originally left, or even when Jess like, the only reason why
like it's a brand like a high school and all that. When she
but even when she said that, the only reason why Angela Yee left is because Charlamagne did that interview with Gucci Mane. Now, of course, Envy is a man, so Envy makes it. So Envy and Charlamagne got to easily kind of joke about it a little bit, but I'm sure realistically, the only reason why Envy probably felt like, all right, we was kind of out of pocket. So I get why Gucci Mane said whatever he said about me and Yee. Because y'all allow Yo Gotti to kind of go crazy on Gucci. So it was like, it was kind of fit, but I understand for Angela Yee, she a woman, she may have not looked at it the same way. So, I mean, it's just like I said, it just depends on what you honestly like. When you go listen to these shows, what you looking for from shows. So like I said, to me personally, I'm more of a Lauren LaRosa type of person. I like when I'm listening to stuff, I know I'm listening for the information. I kind of don't like, I'm not a fan, and I can even tie that into, I was on Twitter today, and I seen people kind of criticize